Okay guys, we are working on the test reviews. We have a test coming up, so let's go through these problems. Okay, so what you can do it has in directions here, is you can use your calculator to simplify these. And then remember, if you get a decimal, then you have to factor trade these. So let's just start using the calculator to see what happens. So the first one is the square root. So second, x with the box, that button here. 32. And then we get 4 root 2. So this is already reduced for us. Now for this one, because it's already reduced, that's super great. There's less that we have to think about. But remember, if it's a square, then we have the two answers. So we could have the positive version of this answer or the negative. So you have to have a plus minus in order for your answer to be correct, even though we know it's correct because we use the calculator. So don't forget your plus minus on your test. Or you could write 4 root 2 and negative 4 root 2. Either way, whatever makes you feel the happiest. Alright, number 2. So this is a cube root because there's a 3 on our cell. Remember, we have two different ones, cube and cube root. So we're going to just plug this in our calculator. So it's 3 second x with the box, and that puts our 3 on itself, and then 108, and we get a decimal. So that means we're going to have to factor tree this guy. So 108. Now, when you go to factor tree, just remember the numbers that I always start with first are 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. These are all the smallest prime numbers that we have. There can be other ones like 41 might be one where it doesn't simplify or divide off any further, but always start with these guys. So this is an even number, so we might as well start with 2. And if you want to, you can guess for bigger numbers as well and see if that works or if they can go into our number, but for sure 2 should go in here. So we have 2 and we've got 54. So again, 54 is even, so let's just divide that guy by 2. So 2 and 27. Now 27 isn't even, so I'm going to start dividing by 3. So we're going to go 27 divided by 3, and we get 9. And I know 9 is 3 and 3. So now we've created our factor tree with all of our leaves. So all of the leaves don't have any branches coming off of them. And we're going to just write them in order from least to greatest. Instead of 108, we now have 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. So remember, since we have a 3 sitting on ourselves, we're looking for triplets. So 2's only have pairs, but our 3 has a triplet. One of the 3's go out, and the other 2 go away. So we have that 3 out. Nothing else is going to go out. Then I write my root with my 3 on my shelf. And then we're just going to multiply these guys that are trapped underneath our radical or our root, and 2 times 2 is 4. And here's your answer. Remember, for cube roots, we don't have plus minus, that's only on square roots. Okay, number 3. So we'll start with our calculator. Second, x squared, because this is a square root, negative 343. And, oh no, it's a domain error. That's right, because you can't take a square root of a negative, don't forget. But if you do, then this should remind you, okay? So that means that this answer is imaginary. And because it's a square root, we can write plus minus if you want to. It won't be wrong either way if you write plus minus or just an I. It's all fine. Okay, now we have the cube root, second, x with the box of 64, and we get 4. So we're all done with that one. And remember, no plus minus on those cube roots. Number 5, 196. So second, x squared, because it's a square root, 196, and we get 14. Remember, it's a square root, so we have 2 answers. All things with squares are 2. So it's plus minus 14. Number 6. Now, we have a number in front this time, but that's totally fine. We're going to take the square root of 20 and see what we get. So you have 2 options. You can take the square root of 20, and you can say, oh, well, look, this becomes 2 root 5. So really what we have is 4 times 2 root 5. And 4 times 2 is 8 root 5, but since this was the square root, it's plus minus 8 root 5. The other option that you could do is like on number 7. On number 7, you can say, oh, well, there's this leading number out in front, and that's okay. We'll put him out in front. And then what we're going to do is we're going to factor tree our numbers. Now, 448 is a bigger number, so I think I'm going to start with a bigger number to divide it by. Let's see, 16 work? Ooh, beautifully. Okay, great. I just guessed a bigger even number. And because this is an ending in an 8, I picked a number that has a 16 or 6 in it. Okay, so 16 and 28. Okay, 16 is 4 and 4, and 4 is 2 and 2, and 2 and 2. I did not give myself enough space. And 28, let's see, 4 and 7. Alright, so I'm going to rewrite this guy over here. 8 cube root least degree. So I've got 4 2's, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I've got a 4 and a 7. Okay? This one won't actually reduce in your calculator for you, so you have to do it this way already, but you could have taken a shortcut on number 6, just like I showed you with using the calculator to reduce. Alright, so now remember we're looking for groups of 3, so we have 3 2's here, so one of the 2's go out and the other 2's go away, and I don't have any more triplets, so I have an 8 in front already. When I bring out the 2's, remember they get multiplied, and then I have the cube root of, let's see what this is, 2 times 4 times 7. All that stuff is stuck underneath my radical, and that is 56. Then I just have to multiply 8 times 2 at the beginning, which is 16, cube root of 56, and we are done. Okay. Number 8 is also a cube root, so I'm going to make my factor tree 162. Give myself a little bit of room. 162 divided by 12, let's see. Nope. 162 divided by 8. Nope. 162 divided by 16. 162 divided by 14? No. Oh, divided by 2. Okay, oh, that's why. Okay, so 162 is 2 and 81, and 81 is 9 and 9, which would have never gotten there. I've got 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, so see, it's okay to guess and check, and then once you reach a point that you don't want to guess anymore, then just pick an even number to start with. Okay, so we have 6, and then the cube root of, I've got a 2, and then 4 3's. So we're looking for triplets. I have one triplet of 3, so one of the 3's go out, and the other 2 go away. When this 3 goes out, this negative 6 gets multiplied by the 3. Now my 3 sits on myself, and what's left over is 2 times 3, which is 6, stuck underneath my radical. And negative 6 times 3 is negative 18, cube root of 6. Remember, this is not a plus minus because it is not a square root, so we're just going to leave them like that. On the back side, number 9. So this is all combining like terms to start on number 9. So if you have one root 3 and another root 3 and another root 3, then we have 3 of them. And what are they? They are root 3. So do not change anything. We aren't simplifying, well, we're simplifying what we have, but we're not like dividing it or factoring it yet, because 3 can't escape. So notice that these numbers will be the same as this. It's like a variable. If you had x plus x, then we have 3 of them, and that's where this 3 came from. So this is your answer. And if you put a plus minus, your teacher won't mark you wrong, but you don't need it for that one. Okay, number 10. So on this, again, we're combining some like terms. So we look, I got a 5 and a 5 and a 5. So we look at the numbers in front, which is negative 2, negative 3, and negative 1. So what is negative 2 minus 3 minus 1? We get negative 6. So that is our answer. Negative 6 root 5. Now this guy could not combine with those because he is root 3 and that is very different. So he just sits like that. Okay, number 11. Well, I have some root 72, so we're going to get those first. And I'm sure that this guy can reduce. Let's see. Maybe it'll reduce on my calculator. Second, x squared 450, and I get 15 root 2. Heck yeah! So, there we go. We're going to use our cute little shortcut. So we have the 2 out in front, and that's multiplying by 15 root 2. So I just simplified, nope, not that 2. I simplified the radical here, and then I kept the 2 here. So it's 2 times this simplified is 15 root 2. If I have my root 72 and another root 72, and then I can combine these, one of them is a negative 2 and the other is a negative 2, so that gives me negative 4 root 72s, and then I got this negative 2 root 2 hanging out over there. We're going to do the same thing that we did here for this cute little root 72 and see if that works. So second x squared 72, and we get 6 root 2, so it does work. 2 times 15 is 30 root 2. And then this one really, remember, is 4 times 6 root 2 because that's root 72 simplifies there, and then the 4 is there. Okay? And then we have our cute little negative 2 root 2 hanging out over there. So now let's write it again. We've got 30 root 2. Negative 4 times 6 is negative 24 root 2. And we have our negative 2 root 2. Oh, also, now that we're here, we can see that we have a root 2, root 2, root 2. So we're just going to combine these first numbers together. So that's positive 30, negative 24, negative 2. So 30 minus 24 minus 2 is 4. So all together, we have 4 root 2 for our final answer. Number 12. Okay. So we have second x squared on 92, which reduces to 8 root 3. So negative 2 times 8 root 3. I just did the same trick that we did before. So I took root 92 and put it in my calculator and it reduced to this. We'll just keep going. Plus 3. And then second x squared 128. And we got 8 root 2. So times 8 root 2 minus 2 root 2. So now we have to simplify. Negative 2 times 8 is negative 16 root 3. 3 times 8 is 24 root 2. And then minus 2 root 2. So the only ones we can combine now are these guys because they have the same root at the end. So now we've got negative 16 root 3. And if I take 24 and subtract 2, that gives me 22 root 2. Since 3 and 2 are not the same number, we are all done. Okay. Okay, the last step is to solve these equations by taking the square root. So remember our opposite. The opposite of cubing something is cube rooting, and the opposite of squaring something is square rooting. So in order to get this variable by itself, we are going to do the opposite of cubing. So we cube root. What we do to one side, we do to the other. So then in our calculators, we're going to take the second x squared, 3 second x with a box, the cube root of 4913, and we get 17. So that means r equals 17. Okay, number 14. The opposite of squaring is square root. So we're going to square root here so we can cancel, leaving our variable. Since we have a square root, we're going to have 2 answers. And the square root of 121 is second x squared, 121, 11. Okay, now 15, the only thing we have to do first is get the variable by itself. We're going to do the opposite of what's happening. So the opposite of positive 140 is minus 140. What we do to one side, we always do to the other. So now we have b squared equals 320 minus 140 is 180. The last step is to do the opposite. So the opposite of squaring is square rooting. And we do this so that we can get our variable all by itself. Remember, since it's a square root, it will have a plus minus. What we do to one side, we must do to the other side. The square root of 180 is 6 root 5. And lastly, number 16. So again, we have to do the opposite of what's happening to our variables. So since our number and our letter sit next to each other, that means they're getting multiplied. The opposite of multiply is divide. So I'm going to start by dividing each side by 4. So we have 3, 2, 7, 6, 8. Not put the calculator on top of the math problem. Oh, wait. So now we have to divide it by 4. Okay, so then it's 8192. So n cubed is 8192. And since we are trying to get our variable by itself, we're going to do the opposite. So the opposite of cubing is cube rooting. What we do to one side, we must do to the other. So now we're going to test it. So 3 second x with the box, 8192. So the cube root of that, is a decimal. So that means that we're going to have to factor 3. So 8192. Okay, so 8192 divided by, let's say, 16. Oh, and it totally works. Okay, so we did 8192 divided by 16, and we got 512. 16 is 4 and 4, and 4 is 2, 2, and 4 is 2, 2. 512, I don't know, let's see. 512 divided by 12? No. 512 divided by, let's just try it again, 16? Oh, hey! That worked. So we've got 32 and 16. Oh, no. Okay, so my factor tree got a little squished. 16 is 4 and 4, and 4 is 2 and 2, and 4 is 2 and 2. Well, we're going to have a big number here. And then 32, oh yeah, divided by 8 is 4, so we have 8 and 4. 4 is 2 and 2. 8 is 4 and 2. 4 is 2 and 2. Wow, so many 2s. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 2s. Okay, so cubed 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I guess we could squeeze one more. 13. You have to be careful because, like, you don't want to get them confused. Okay. Make a weird looking line. Groups of 3. So I have 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, and 4 groups of 3, and 1 little 2 stuck. So this guy goes out, this guy goes out, this guy goes out, this guy goes out, and all of these friends go away. So we took out 1, 2, 3, 4 2s. So that means we're going to multiply all 4 of them together. 1, 2, 3, 4 2s. And then what's left is this cute little guy over here that we can't forget about, and he is stuck. So we just multiply the 4 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get 16. So our answer for this one is n equals 16 cube root of 2. Alright, sorry. If you have any questions, please let your teacher know. Have a great day, guys. Bye.